Seeing Scott Waits or Danny Noppert, they'll be with us later. Next, though, Jamie Hughes awaits the winner of Glen Durrant, the #1 seed, and Darius Labanauskas. Glen, everybody's tip really before a dart was thrown here this week, but he oh so nearly came unstuck a couple of nights ago.
He's taken the set! My word, we've got an upset on now. That is a massive checkout for Paul Hogan, and he leads the #1 seed, Glen Durrant, 3-0.
I don't feel I was in the right mindset. I needed a spark of inspiration, and I wasn't getting that. I needed a 180, I needed a ton finish, and I was really, really struggling. But I promise you, a 3-0 down and 2-0 down, I did think, imagine if I come back and won this game.
Now, this is surely when Hogan will take it, or will he? Durrant walks back with the dart in his mouth. Hogan now. Oh, wrong bed, he's busted. He's busted just marginally in the wrong bed.
And where there's life, there's hope.
I felt I'd won the game at 3 each, so I felt very, very comfortable in that last set. It's a strange feeling. I should have been out. That was my chance, and come to that final double, I didn't feel any pressure at that point.
And there it is. He's got away with it, and he's taken his place in the next round. He thought that he had been done, and the #1 seed marches on.
Just utter relief. The pressure's gone. I should be out. I shouldn't be sat here now. I should be on my way home now and watching it on TV. I'm still in. I'm determined to enjoy the rest of the tournament.
Proper get-out-of-jail-free cards for Glen Durrant the other night. There then is how they stack up. Darius Labanauskas, I wouldn't say he's gone under the radar, but he's been quietly efficient about his work this week. You can look at the tournament average, there isn't a great wedge between them because of that pretty patchy display from Glen Durrant for large parts against Paul Hogan. Of course, he had the highest checkout. That's gone to Daryl Fitton now. 8-4 in terms of the tournament 180s. Obviously, Glen Durrant's A-game will be far too much for Darius Labanauskas. It's whether he's got it.
Yes, well, it's what he's got left in the locker after that big comeback the other night. You just never know. It's all about how he starts for me. I think if he starts well, he could potentially run out a big, you know, maybe win it 5-1, 5-2.
What happens to a player that is all but out, but suddenly and somehow finds their way to stay alive? I guess it could become a real positive. You could feel like, what, fate's with me.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes every winner, you know, at some point will dodge the odd bullet and come through a moment of adversity. And then that makes you do feel that, well, nothing can possibly go wrong. I mean, I had it with Martin Adams in 1999. I was 4-1 down, thought I was out, avoided a few match starts, nicked it. And then it's just like this momentum thing, and it just gathers, and of course the pressure loads on your opponent, as we've seen with Paul Hogan. You know, I ended up running out a 5-4 winner. Unfortunately for me, a certain Mr. Barneveld was waiting for me for the next day, and yeah, I got trounced. But luckily for Glen, he's not facing a player of that caliber, but he's got to watch himself.
Yeah.
Labanauskas, he won't be under any pressure at all, and he can throw with a lot of freedom.
Yeah. And of course, he's probably got none of that weight of pressure, expectation, all those things that seems to trail around behind Glen. Interesting to know that actually he's only, I think, had nobody really with him.
Yeah.
Glen Durrant had like the whole of Middlesbrough the other night. He's only got one person here tonight to support him. By choice, I would think.
Yeah, I think, yeah, definitely a conscious decision. I think he just felt under so much pressure. There was, like I said, there was so much expectation, and you know, there's nothing worse when people pay their own dough to travel that far, staying in hotels, and you know, you almost feel you owe it to them to win, and sometimes that can become too much as a player. But yeah, I like the fact that he's a bit more low-key tonight and thinking about his game. And like I said, if he starts well, he could really run out a big winner in this one.
Darius Labanauskas will have other ideas, but Glen Durrant, having just survived the onslaught from Paul Hogan, may feel like a man reborn. They will be with us in just a couple of minutes. sense that he's got the game face on here, Glenn Durrant. I wonder if the last match has taught us anything, it's to make predictions at your peril at the Lakeside, but of course he'll start a strong favourite. Watching on in this race to 5 sets, Vassos Alexander, and first, evening John Rawling.
Good evening, Matt. Yeah, he was a massive favourite last time out, unbackable, and he's pretty much the same today, Glenn Durrant. And he admitted when I spoke to him earlier on, he's still, part of him thinks that he shouldn't be here. He thinks he should have lost to Paul Hogan. Well, he has to put that sort of thought right to the back of his mind and get serious about this, because Darius Labanauskas can throw. Seeded number 8, 40 years old. Glenn Durrant's junior by 6 years. But Glenn, he's had this fabulous year. He should emerge as the victor, but he kind of heaped so much pressure on himself in the last match. He had a big travelling entourage of fans. They're not here tonight. There you see he came through comfortably against Nick Kenny in the first round, and then it went right to the wire against Paul Hogan, who had those darts for victory. Darius Labanauskas, good win against the Barbarian in round 1, and then a slightly tighter affair against the Pole, Krzysztof Ratajska, in round 2. So is Durrant really going to produce that which we know he is capable of here? On paper, you'd think, as Chris Mason has said, this is going to be a wide victory in his favour, and moving on towards a semi-final match against Jamie Hughes.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First set, first leg. Glenn to throw first. Game on.
But matches are never played on paper.
Yes, and both of these players will have only just finished exhaling huge sighs of relief after making it through titanic tussles
96.
in the second round. Durrant especially, who survived those match darts against Paul Hogan before coming from 3 sets down to win 4-3. Labanauskas was on that stage, this time yesterday, being taken to a deciding set by Krzysztof Ratajski, as you say. But Durrant here, the 7-1 on favourite to win this match. He's even money favourite to win the title, despite having one more match to play than Daryl Fitton and Jamie Hughes.
And this, we're expecting to be his last BDO World Championship. It's a pretty open secret that he's contemplating a full-time career with the PDC.
40.
And if he's going to ever win here at the Lakeside, assuming that he does carry out that plan, then this year has got to be the year. He's a nervy type though, Glenn. He does get wound up about things,
79.
and he sometimes doesn't carry the burden of favouritism as well as others. You've got some fans out there, Vassos, I think. Not sure if you can interpret it.
100.
Mean anything to you?
I'm running a long race over some mountains in Wales in May.
What, one of these ridiculous 100-mile jumps or something?
100.
Hang on, more in a minute, because that's the first maximum.
The first of many, let's hope.
When the action flags a bit, tell us about running around on Welsh mountains. Might never hear it, you never know.
Let's hope we don't.
69.
For the first leg with the darts, Glenn Durrant. 18 for double 16.
Game shot in the
Well,
first
that's an
leg.
altogether
Glenn
more
Durrant.
assured opening
Second
than he
leg,
had against
Darius
Paul
to throw
Hogan.
first. Game on.
Hogan, of course, hitting with a barrage of finishes and doubles. I think he got, was it 10 out of 13 in the early stages? He absolutely, everything he was going for, he was getting. He got, gave him a sniff and he was in, bang!
Before that match against Paul Hogan, every time Glenn Durrant had been taken to a deciding set here on the Lakeside stage, he'd lost, having had match darts. I'll take you back to the semi-final against Martin Adams in 2015, when Glenn missed 3 match darts. Before losing 6-5, he averaged 100. And last year in the quarterfinals, Scott Waits beat him 5-4. And Durrant missed the bullseye for the match before losing 9 out of 11 legs. He told me before the tournament started that he forced himself, he hates watching himself on telly, but he forced himself to watch both of those matches all the way through to see what he could learn from them.
I know he watched it the other night, a replay of our commentary on it, because if you remember, there was a moment on in the last leg when it was dragging on towards midnight, and he just had a little look at his watch, and I said, he's probably got a pizza on order, and he made him chuckle. It was a long night, that, but he started in a more authoritative sort of manner here at the moment, although you have to say that Labanauskas does not have pressure on him. Nobody expects him really to win this match. And he's a tidy player.
133. Lane, you require 170.
As shown there.
Well, he's just seen his cheque for £5,000 for the high checkout disappear towards Daryl Fitton, who beat the 167 with a 170 this afternoon. He'd have quite liked to take that out to share the spoils.
Darryl will spend it wisely.
Treble 20 for double 16 for Labanauskas to level the opening set. One dart at double 16.
96.
Well, that was for a holder throw. Now then, are we going to have the first break? 74 required. He'll be trying to get himself onto tops now. Here we go. A little bit high in the bed.
54. Darius, you require 16.
2-8s to hold his throw.
Game shot,
there
the
it
second
is.
leg. Darius Labanauskas. Third leg, Glenn to throw first. Game on.
He's been one of the busiest players on the circuit, Darius. He's played, it's a real sort of journeyman sort of record he's got. Okay, he's picked up these ranking titles, sometimes not in the biggest tournaments.
96.
But he plays everywhere. You know, he's either got a big account behind him which is allowing him to put all the mileage in, or more likely he's got a very good sponsor.
48.
Glenn Durrant won his last 7 tournaments that he entered.
59.
7 wins in a row in 2016, 8 in all.
121.
If he does play tomorrow afternoon, what he'll be missing, big Middlesbrough fan, as you can see from his shirt, is an away match at Watford.
Oh, good knowledge, thank you, Vassos. I was just scrabbling around trying to work out who they were playing. That's quite a big match for them, isn't it? It's one of those which, come the end of the season, is going to be pretty significant.
It's the sort of match that you think, it doesn't really matter, but actually it does to both clubs.
Big time. Be a bit of an emotional occasion for Watford fans as well, of course.
'96.
Everybody here in the fancy dress. Not totally sure that they've come across from Germany or Austria.
87. Len, you require 150.
150 can be done. So Labanauskas an outside chance here of a break of throw.
Darius, you require 145.
Start it with a treble 20. Nope.
Glenn, you require 54.
A few people looking like that after a big night at the darts. Tops for Durrant.
34.
Now,
Darius, you require
doubles letting him
52.
down, and that could be the first significant moment.
216s for Labanauskas to break the throw. Double 8, he hit it in the last leg.
36. Glenn, you require 20.
That's Team Durrant.
How could you tell?
I think it's Uncle Joe and Dennis, I think. If memory serves me right. You've got another dart, mate. You're not bust yet.
No score.
He is now.
Darius should acquire 16.
So a couple of 8s for the break of throw.
6 missed doubles in a row from Glenn Durrant.
Game shot in the third leg.
Punished.
Darius Labanauskas.
With a break of
Fourth leg,
throw,
Darius
so
to throw first.
the
Game on.
Lithuanian 8th seed has the darts and is throwing for the first set.
First to 5, taking a place in a semi-finals
131.
against Jamie Hughes. That's a good start by Labanauskas. Needs to hold his throw.
As you say, under no pressure whatsoever.
100.
Great game earlier on involving Darryl Fitton. Real battle that.
44.
Here's the big lad. Relaxing now.
With Andy Fordham.
Big lads together. Big mates. Darryl got his doubles so much better than the previous round. If he keeps on hitting his doubles, he's going to have a chance.
He's very relaxed this year, as
125.
relaxed as I've ever seen him. I know he's been here many, many times before. I think he'd have liked to have his honeymoon here. Who wouldn't? But speaking to him, he just seems to be feeling it this year, Darryl Fitton.
So you'd have liked to have had your honeymoon here, would you? It's an interesting talking point when you get home. Good darts from Durrant coming down.
139.
And a nice setup.
Darius should acquire 101.
But this is for the set. He'll have a dart, you'd imagine, at double 16, or one for tops to nick the set.
61. Glenn, you'd acquire 78.
Must take for Durrant to get back into this opening set. Double 12. It's not a bad marker. Ooh,
54.
dear. 1 out
Darius
of
should
9
acquire 40.
on his doubles.
He hit his first and he's missed his last 8. And
Game
that
shot in the first set.
is what happens
Darius Labanauskas.
when you miss 8 doubles in a
Second set,
row.
first
You
leg.
lose the
Darius
set
to throw first.
and you fall behind,
Game
and
on.
it's advantage Lithuania.
4 times the Lithuanian champion, Darius.
131.
Just going about it in a quiet, business-like sort of manner, which is keeping this capacity crowd pretty subdued. Some fantastic fancy dress around from our vantage point on the balcony here. We can see just about everybody. There's a lot of wolves in earlier on. There's a vibrating horse.
Of course there is.
A lot of people with traffic cones on their heads.
134.
The Dutch are in town. There's orange shirts, false moustaches, masses of ludicrous makeup.
100.
His first maximum of this match. Takes him on to a finish of 90. Glenn Durrant at the moment has no answer.
No, he's in dodgy territory
80.
again, isn't he?
Darius should
Allowed
acquire
it to
90.
slip away against Paul Hogan, and if he lets this fella get a real foothold on the game, double 18.
Game
Look at
shot in
that,
the first
90,
leg.
a lovely
Darius
clean kill.
Labanauskas.
If he lets
Second leg,
that
Glenn
slip
to
away
throw
against
first.
Darius,
Game on.
it's going to be a tough task to pull it back. He's a tenacious little player.
Darryl Fitton, we saw earlier, he will play the winner of the Scott Waits-Danny Noppert quarter-final, which is up next. Jamie Hughes, I don't know where he is, but if you're watching Jamie, you can just put your feet up and enjoy this one. These two are playing for the right to meet you tomorrow for a place in the final.
I think Jamie will be watching. I think he'll be having a nice, quite refreshing beer, which he's earned.
Well earned.
After a long session up there, coming from behind to beat Martin Wolfie Adams.
2-5-4 quarterfinals out of 2 so far. We take the same again this evening.
It's a nice cover shot. I must confess, I thought this was going to be an emphatic win for Glen Durrant tonight. Might still be, of course, but if he were to slip another set behind, then you'd be starting to think, is this going to be another of those lengthy tussles?
170.
A really good front runner, Glen Durrant.
Always. Always. But there's just those who say if you get at him and get at him early, he can be a little bit susceptible. If he's going to make a big living as a full-time pro, he's going to have to get to terms with that.
You require 112.
112 he needs to stem the tide of losing legs. Double 16.
96.
Good effort. He thought that was there, I think. He'll probably get another go, because Labanauskas with a huge ask on 160. And can't be done, so Glen will come back looking for double 8 to square up the set. Needs this though on the throw.
16.
Just needs to hit a double.
They're racking up 1 out of 11.
Game shot in the second leg. Glen Durrant. Third leg, Darius to
after 11 misses in a row. The dart finds the double 4. And it's 1 leg apiece in this second
96.
set.
$137. $59. $41.
It's not a good visit. It's not vintage Durrant at the moment, averaging 87 at this stage, and as against Labanauskas, nearly 90.
97.
Glen, when he's on form, you expect him to be nudging up into the high 90s and on towards nearer to 100.
Which he did do in his first round match. He was first
60.
on at lunchtime on Saturday afternoon as the top seed. Glen Durrant played Nick Kenny, beat him 3-1, averaging 96-97.
100.
Had a 5-day wait before that second round epic against Paul Hogan, which he nearly lost. Hogan, remember, had match darts.
This is better.
And he's up against it again, but that will help.
180! Darius should acquire 149.
149 to hold his throw, which is now under pressure as a result of that big hit from Glen Durrant. 2 maximums now to his name.
95. Glen,
Can he take it out now?
Treble 17 for double 16. 16 now for bullseye.
58. Darius should acquire 54.
Well, 54, he was pretty handy on the 18s, but he's going the 14 route for tops. Double 10.
44. When you require 25.
Now, was that significant? Was that a big miss? Will Durrant make him pay? He needs the big 9 first. And now the double 8.
Game shot in the third leg.
Oh, snuck in the corner.
Fourth leg, Glenn to throw first.
That was a breaker throw. Durrant has the darts, Durrant throwing to level this quarter-final at 1 set apiece.
Maybe he'll settle down now and produce some of the darts which we really know he's capable of.
$100.
Labanauskas will keep doing what he's been doing all tournament, plugging away with an average in the low 90s.
98.
And taking out about 1 double in 3.
$140.
This top looks like the Milky Way, doesn't it?
Well, we mentioned that Andy Fordham-Ray Barnevelt semi-final. And what was it Barney said afterwards?
97.
The darts Fordham threw came from a different planet.
Well, certainly a planet where you could enjoy a slurp or two.
91.
Teetotal nowadays and has been for many a year. Mr. Fordham.
96. Glenn, you require 170.
Maximum. It's been done once today by Darryl Fitton, not this time for Glen Durrant.
134.
Oh, nicely done. 2 in the treble 19, 36 when he comes back, and that's for the set.
It's been a tidy set, this one. Starting to up the scoring, up the standards.
Glenn, you require 36.
And crucially, getting doubles. Is he going to take this one out? That's a nice marker. In she goes.
The second set. Glen Durrant.
It's all square. A bit of a shaky start from Glen Durrant as they leave the stage. Darius Labanauskas taking that opening set, but Durrant showing more of the darts of which he's capable in that second set, and they leave the stage with it all square at a set apiece.
All square then in the first of the men's quarter-finals. Corinne Hammond is through to the ladies' final. She beat Anastasia 2-0 if you weren't with us a little earlier. Surprise result that, but fair play to her. She is through to play Lisa Ashton tomorrow. And it is 1 set apiece, Glen Durrant and Darius Labanauskas. Race to 5, remember, in the men's quarters. When they're done, we'll get on to Scotty Too Hottie Waits, the defending champion, and Danny Noppert, the Dutchman, who made short work of Richard Veenstra last night. Chris, again, just he's all square, but for a while there, it was like a rerun of Hogan.
Exactly. He's just come out a little bit edgy, a little bit flat, and he's only at 2 140s in 2 sets. Now, I've been watching Glenn play darts for probably 10 years or so, and that's one side of his game. He's prolific, is his scoring. But yeah, maybe some early nerves now and a bit of a pep talk out the back, settle down, and then come out and hit the stage hard.
He throws first in this third set as we go back to Battersea Dock.
Well, let's see if we're going to see a bit of vintage Dozer now. See if he can really put his game together. He's one of those sportsmen who has an extraordinary dislike of losing. And also,
third set, first leg, Glenn to throw first. Game on.
And also, I think, a fear of not doing himself justice. He knows how good he is, and it gets into his head if he thinks he's up there, not showing people what he can properly do. It's more than just winning. He desperately wants to win this. He desperately wants to be the champion, but he wants people to see how good he is.
He wants to prove himself.
Absolutely.
Very good point, John.
57.
Likeable guy, straightforward guy, and he wears his heart on his sleeve, and you warm to people like that. See if he can really start to turn it on.
99.
Yes, it'll be polar opposites if it is a Durrant-Hughes semi-final. One player who's going through the ringer with every dart, and you can see how the missed doubles affect him. And
60.
Jamie Hughes told me earlier this week he's managed to persuade himself that it doesn't matter to him whether they go or they don't.
And you believed it, did you? I hear what you're saying, though. He's got a altogether more phlegmatic persona, Jossa, than Glenn, and it served him well against Wolfie this afternoon, because Martin was playing so well, and Jamie just maintained his focus and just kept in his head, well, this can't keep on going forever. No check-out here for Durrant on 168. But Labanauskas well back. It's a good adjustment, just having a check what he's got. He's got 75 to there. Oh, great cover shot. Beauty. This is more like it, Vassos.
Double 18 when he comes back, the same double that won him the second set. Labanauskas way back, can't
45.
finish.
45, Glenn, you require 36.
Not even close. Can he use that one? No, double 9.
It's a little bit unlucky, that one.
He won't go for the double 9.
22.
Oh dear. Whoops.
Well, yeah, that wasn't what was required. He was obviously going for the single too, which would have left him on double 8, where he is now. He's on double 7, which is a bit of a horror, isn't it? Assuming he goes straight at it.
Game shot in the first leg, Glenn Durrant. Second leg, Darius to throw first.
A little touch of the temple tells you exactly what he thinks about that. Am I nuts?
4 legs in a row to Labanauskas, 4 legs in a row now to Glenn Durrant, the top seed. Yes, don't hit double 2 when you're going for big 2.
He doesn't make too much of an attempt to
121.
hide what he thinks about his darts, does he? He can be extremely demonstrative.
59.
Not be doing handsprings about that one, but yeah, that's when you get one. I know what I can do. I've just won a set.
$140.
Good leg from Labanauskas. 140 left after 9 darts. Needs to, as we said at this time in the last set, needs to stem the flow of legs going the other way.
137. Darius should acquire 140.
Good visit, but he's got 6 darts, Labanauskas, to win the leg.
34.
Missed by a country mile.
Still has a 3-figure checkout left when he comes back. Another one of those from Glenn Durrant. Pressure that.
134.
And he has hit another treble 19. 50 when he comes back, if he comes back. Over to you, Darius.
Good dart. 14 for double 16. Now, can he hold on to his throw?
74.
Another opportunity for Duzza.
50.
The break beckons.
2 16s for Durrant, and a 5th leg in a row.
Glenn Durrant. third leg, Glenn to throw first.
A lot of difference in this game when you start finding your checkouts, start finding your doubles, and that's what Glenn's done. He's won one set, he's now in touching distance of another one, and to go properly ahead in this match. 6 out of 25 he's got now.
But he missed 10 in a row.
Yeah, look,
in that first set.
Looked pretty awful to start with, didn't it? When we were worrying whether it was going to be Paul Hogan revisited.
Take those 10 out and it's not so bad. He'll feel better, Glenn Durrant, having come through a deciding set
100
for the first time on the World Championship stage.
Well, he's settling down now. He's picking up his scoring a little bit. He's taken his average over 91 now. He was down in the mid-80s, and a succession of good legs is starting to build
140.
And he's getting himself into a strong position now. He's not on a finish yet, but he will be after the next visit. Well, that puts a different complexion on things.
It's a wild first start.
45. Well,
just when we were thinking that Durrant was taking a tight grip on this, Labanauskas with a 140 opportunity. He's not going to do it, but if he leaves himself on something handy, which he will now after that treble, that's a solid ton. He's going to come back on tops. This makes this 126 look very different.
Needs the treble now for the bullseye. That would have been for the set. And like we said, he's an excellent front runner. So Labanauskas needs this.
Tops for the leg to keep the set alive. Oh, he's wondering how he missed that. Well, he's got two there. He's about the best possible mark as you can have. He's just trying to give himself an angle to get a clean trajectory in. Good dart. Good dart. That's a quality dart.
Labanauskas. Fourth leg, Darius to throw first.
Had time to think about it, didn't he?
Well, he saw from that other angle there the way in which the flights were just blocking his route in. That's why he had to move left along the oki to give himself the angle to attack that double top. Well, a very tidy player, Darius Labanauskas.
59.
Oh, is that one of the something out of the Three Amigos? No, that's Donald Trump. Donald Trump with a moustache. The
Donald at the darts.
Never ceases to amuse, does he?
100.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't put it past him to turn up one day. I'm being told from backstage that once upon a time the Donald was on Saint and Greavesy.
The old S&G.
We're going to have to get on YouTube and see if that's still there. Donald Trump and... Oh dear.
Doing the draw, we're being told, for the Rumbelows Cup.
The mind boggles.
100.
Wonder how he pronounced Leicester. Business end of this fourth leg now. 17's with his last dart for Durrant. He's left to finish.
Yeah, huge one though. It's not where he'd have wanted to be, and Labanauskas has got a great chance here to get back onto level terms, and he's got two in there.
140.
He's throwing.
You require 167.
Well, he did it in the first leg of the championship. This 167, but he has to start it with a treble 20.
So 44, and we're back onto level terms in this third
You
set.
require 44.
Double 16. That's not a bad line. Oh,
12.
Unlucky. Kiss the wire, graze the wire. So 121, treble 20. Now treble 17 would give him the bullseye option. And now Labanauskas really is poised
57.
to take this leg, Vassos.
Darius, you require 32.
Hasn't hit double 16 in 5 attempts. Make that 6. Make that 7. Double 8 he needs. Really does need it.
16.
Oh dear.
Wow.
You require 64.
Well, this is for the set. 64. Labanauskas has looked like winning it all the way. And now Glenn Durrant. Double 8 after the treble 16. Double 8 for 2-1 in sets.
48.
He's missed it as well.
Darius, you require 16.
Two 4s, yes.
Game shot in the fourth leg. Darius Labanauskas. Fifth leg, Glenn Tooth, row first. Game on.
So we're going to a deciding leg in this third set. Glenn Durrant was 2 legs up. He had 2 darts at double 8 to win the set.
99.
But we're all square again.
And what he's got to get into his head, of course, as ever in darts. What's happened has happened. You can't change history, but you can shape the future. And you've got to get into the positive mindset and put that behind you. Look at that. Furious. We've had people getting married here.
57.
The big 6-0. And with a very dodgy wig. I wonder if he really is from north of the border. People don't always dress like that up there, do they?
40.
Lakeside wouldn't be Lakeside without Elvis.
I think Elvis is one of the few people who didn't play here back in the day. A huge number of pictures of various cabaret stars from the 60s, 70s and 80s still adorning the walls here.
So Durrant, with the advantage of throwing first, with a 60-odd point advantage plus these.
93.
Good last dart.
Needed it. Over from the Wild West, presumably, some of Donald's mates.
47. Glenn, you require 112.
6 darts from 112 for the set then.
He's making hard work of it. It all looks a bit of an effort, where when he's really in form, the darts just flow. Fortunately for Glenn,
60.
Labanauskas is well back.
Require 52.
Where do people get these outfits from?
2 16s for the set.
Oh, unlucky. Unlucky, Ron Bad.
Darius, you require 156.
Well, this is also for the sets, 156. He's had a 150 checkout. Treble 20 he needs for double 18. Oh, it's on! Double 18 for 156. What a checkout! Yes, you may well blow your cheeks out, because that was a sensational checkout. A disconsolate shake of the head from Glenn Durrant. Missed opportunities, and Darius Labanauskas with a 156 checkout What a punishment.
Oh, that's got to hurt. That has got to hurt, and you can see it written all over Glen Durrant's face. It does hurt. 2 treble 20s and a double 18 for a 1-5-6 and a 2-1 lead in sets. Oh, the reaction from Glen Durrant in the background.
It was agony for him, wasn't it? Some players choose not to watch. He was watching every little nuance of that attempt to check out, and when it went in, ouch.
I wonder if he's still thinking about the 4 darts that he had to win the set.
I hope he's not thinking deja vu, you know, from the other night when he was on the cusp of defeat. I hope he doesn't start thinking that way, or he could be in trouble, because this fella is now throwing well. It's his 3rd maximum.
Nothing like missed doubles for giving your opponent confidence.
156 didn't do you any harm either, does it?
158.
He can do this.
$98.
When he banged in that treble 20, I thought, oh, surely not, surely not. Durrant's way back. More like
131. That should acquire 60.
Good counting, he's left himself on 170. But
game shot in the first leg. Labanauskas.
Tidy leg.
Second leg, Glen to throw first. Game on.
Well, I tell you what, it's funny this. Labanauskas won 4 legs in a row. Durrant won 5 legs in a row, and Labanauskas has now won 4 legs in a row as well.
100.
Momentum shifts right there on the scorecard.
Glen's certainly going through a sticky patch, looking down at his darts.
100.
Certainly nervously passing them from hand to hand. Quiet out there today at the moment. Probably reflecting, oh, this will get a bit of noise.
140.
Ton 40. I know that players always say they like it more when there's sort of the wall of noise rather than when it's relatively quiet, and then you can hear every shout which is coming out.
Don't worry about that, it will get noisy here. It's Friday night, it's Lakeside, it's men's quarterfinals night.
60.
And a few thirsty people. You never see too many gin and tonics at darts, do you?
Pina coladas.
Nice glass of Merlot, please.
140.
Or
105. That should acquire 170.
170 for Labanauskas. Durrant, a potential 2-dart checkout when he comes back on his
94.
throw. But he's under a bit of pressure to make it.
Once again, to stem the flow of legs heading Lithuania's way. That for double 18 tops.
56. That should acquire 76.
Well, 76 for the break. Treble 20, double 8. And the 40-year-old Lithuanian will be in a handy place. Double 14 now. Wrong side of the wire.
62. Glen, you acquire 40.
This is an important visit, even this early in the match. Still hasn't hit a double top.
Game shot in the second leg. Glen Durrant.
He's put it away.
Third leg, Darius to throw first.
Holding his throw. Labanauskas leading by 2-1 if you're just turning on. Yes, that is correct. Our graphics boys haven't had a brainstorm. Labanauskas is winning
57.
by 2-1. What's all that about?
I think Carrie Fisher was a better Princess Leia, don't you?
Oh, is that what it was? I didn't immediately spot the resemblance.
100.
Muhammad Ali there. He'd have told you could throw a few darts.
47.
Shuffling around the hockey.
Treble like a butterfly. Double like a bee.
140.
Gets the cover shot. His average has subsided again, Durrant. He got it up to something like 92 at one point, but he's drifted away with a few indifferent legs.
80.
Now averaging just over 86, which, as I've said before, by his own standards, that's way off mark.
10 points at least lower than he'd be expecting.
92.
Well, 124.
124.
This is for the hold of throw. Durrant, a long way, a big ask when he comes back, a 170. Seen Daryl Fitton do it, he can do it now with a bull. Ooh, just the wrong side of the wire.
Then you require 170.
So expect 9 double-8 here for Labanauskas.
You require 25.
To hold his throw and maintain the advantage of the throw. Double-8.
9.
Oh, well, this is an opportunity for Durrant.
I wonder if he's going to rue those misses, Labanauskas. 18 for tops. He's going to have one dart at a double. I have to say he needs this. He hasn't hit a double top, or he hadn't before that dart.
Fourth leg, Glenn to throw first. Game on.
Break of throw. And Glenn's mates are feeling a little bit happier now. Huge odds-on favourite for this match before it started. What do you say? It was 7-1 on.
He was 7-1 on to win the match in a two-horse race, and he was even money favourite for the title before a dart was thrown this evening, despite Daryl Fitton and Jamie Hughes having to play one match fewer.
I always assume that people know what betting's all about, but just in case you've been living on Mars or something and you don't quite get it, what it means that is if you put 70 quid on, Glenn wins it, you just win a tenner, so you get your 70 quid plus £10 back, which is not really, the book is giving too much away. 82. That's what happens when they regard somebody as pretty much a stone cold certainty.
He's anything but. Big moment though in that last leg. He hit that double 15. Top when he needed to. Labanauskas having missed 3 darts to take a 2-1 lead in legs and move one leg away from a 3-1 lead in sets. But if Durrant can win this one, and he's looking good at the moment, then it's 2 apiece.
140.
Not on a finish, but he's got a comfortable cushion. And moving towards 2-2. Interval at the end of this set. Labanauskas somehow clawed his way back and went into it 3-1 up, and Glenn really would be feeling twitchy, but no reason why that should happen now. He should be able to put this away. Good cover shot.
137.
That's a great visit. Beautiful setup. So is he going to do it? Labanauskas, it's a handy visit, but Durrant now is poised. on 42. Double 16. And that's what's required. So, it is absolutely level. Nothing between them. 2 sets apiece. Averages are similar, both on 87. The red-hot favourite, Glen Durrant. He's had things a little bit awkward so far, but he's managed to hold his own. It's 2-2 as they leave the stage.
Two apiece in this one in the race to 5. Glen Durrant again making hard work of it. We'll come back to that in a moment. When they're done, we'll move on to our third and final live match tonight. That should be hot to trot. Scott Waits and Danny Noppert, if they produce their best, in for a treat later. But Chris Mason, when you look back even at that last set, this 1-5-6 from Labanauskas, terrific. He's shown flashes of real talent. Glen's toiling.
Yeah, he's just in bits up there. He's just, again, not settled at all. We've seen it with Paul. Well, we've seen it in every match, really. I mean, his first round game, he was fairly comfortable, but he keeps threatening to, you know, really start to turn it on, and then he just seems to go flat again. I don't know what the reason is behind that, or if he's maybe just feeling the pressure again. But he needs to nail this guy down. Otherwise, every time he's got a chance, he's took it.
Yeah, you just get the impression if he could find a sustained period, I don't know how fragile Darius might be, but you feel you could control it with his reputation, but he's never given himself that kind of daylight. Well,
no, but with the averages that it is, they're more or less on sort of 6 throws. So, you know, he needs to find 10 points on his average.
We shall see. Changing the commentary box, by the way, Paul Nicholson has gone in to join John Rawling.
Interesting one, this, Paul. A lot of people thought that Glen Durrant would have really dominated Darius Labanauskas, but he's got a tussle on his hands again, and he's not getting the big hits, or he hadn't been. Maybe he will now. That's his third maximum, which equals it up with Labanauskas.
He does like to make things difficult for himself, doesn't he?
57.
He does indeed, but that's a great start. See if he can continue.
The way things are going in this match, it seems to me like every single quarter-final today is going to go 5-4.
Glen usually, I think Chris Mason was alluding to it before the match began, he usually absolutely smashes players with his 140s around that sort of area. And at the moment, he's got 7 140s against Labanauskas' 9, so that predicted dominance on those big scores, it hasn't really unfolded so far.
125.
Well put, John. He's not the biggest 180 scorer in the world. He's just the kind of player that is very steady. You can guarantee him a 96 average, and he's just not doing that right now. There's too many loose darts. 96. But then again, much better leg here to start this 5th set.
Yep, 9 darts to 96, potentially 11 darter. Well, you can still do a 12 darter. Not now, though.
88.
Decent last dart. Left him on double 4. Labanauskas, well, he's nowhere.
91.
Double 4 then for the hold of throw.
When you require 8.
13 dart leg.
The first leg, Glen Durrant.
More like.
Second leg, Darius to
that's
row first.
a settler.
Game on.
Good type of leg to think, yeah, that's better. Some better scores and a nice clinical finish.
You know when you go off the stage, as Glen just did, and you know in your mind you've been scrabbling around, you've got those few minutes, what do you do?
If I was in Glen's position, I'd go off, I'd find a quiet corner and just yell a few expletives and just try and get out a little bit of frustration and say, okay, we've said it. We take a sip of water, we get calm, we go back to the board. It's something that you don't really see from the likes of Glenn up there. Well, not many people anymore. It's just, you want to find a way to vent your frustration and say, right, okay, let's start again.
Well, he's doing okay since he's come back. Steady ton to keep him ahead of Labanauskas.
Quarte.
I was remarking with Chris Mason in the break about Glenn's setup, and it just seemed to us like the darts weren't coming out of his hand the usual way. They were coming out a little bit weaker, and the darts were landing in the board a bit steep.
Yeah, they weren't quite having their normal trajectory.
96.
Not throwing, perhaps not releasing, not throwing with the normal confidence.
Yeah, a little bit of nerves in the arm can do funny things, but
this is looking more like now, though.
It does look better, doesn't it?
130.
When he doesn't throw them as hard, the trajectory, they're almost falling into the board. You see how Labanauskas are going in there. And now Durrant's throwing similarly, but earlier they were sort of looping in more. Double 16. Double 8. For the break of throw. Good dart. 15 darter. 13 darter and a 15 darter, and he's 2 up.
That will give him a lot of confidence, and it will settle the nerves of some of his supporters, that's for sure. And Glenn Durrant will want to get rid of this set as soon as possible, so that he can get in front 45. And potentially stay in front. He doesn't want to go through the Paul Hogan situation anymore in this championship. He wants to get into the comfort zone, play good, comfortable 95 to 100 average darts.
100.
That invites an addition. Not that side. That's the
135.
one.
The grouping of the darts has been so much better since the break.
He's just thrown with more authority. If he goes on to 60. Win it, it's kind of a question to ask, isn't it? If he maintains it from here, what did you say to yourself when you came off at 2 apiece after, by your own standards, you'd been throwing some rubbish? You give yourself a bit 96. Of an Alex Ferguson treatment. Has he given him a self-applied hair drying?
Has he been hitting the head with a shoe or something? Was it a hairdryer that he threw across that changing room?
No, it was, well, the one that's caught David Beckham.
Yeah.
No, it was a boot, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, you never know. In that back room, someone might have just had a word with him and said, come on, what are you doing?
Well, whatever it is, it's worked.
It's definitely working now.
140.
He's close to winning the set in double quick time. This is good from Labanauskas.
171.
Brilliant.
He does like that treble 19.
Hit
that exact shot last night before 132 check out. Now Durrant's going to have to go 20 ball here. Double 5 for the set. Yes, he'll love all that. What a perfect end to a great set for Durrant. The #1 seed is back in business.
Game on.
Happy days for the Middlesbrough contingent. That puts a smile on the viewers that we've got up on Teesside.
100.
Double 5. And he's ahead in the match. At last.
Well, it was probably a decent set average as well. And
96.
He's probably thinking to himself, the previous break. 2 sets all. Now we're into first round format once more. First to 3, and he's comfortable with that.
57.
So from the break, he's 1-0 up. The first 4 sets are forgotten, but we'll hang on to the last one because that was good stuff.
77.
It's a happy, smiley chap.
Got a lot of people around him. He must.
He's probably turned up in his chauffeur-driven Rolls Royce.
I was going to say he might have a big
Doing
bonus.
134.
doing a Floyd Mayweather, throwing £20 notes about.
Floyd Mayweather this afternoon was separating Badu Jack and James DeGale before their big fight.
It could be a decent fight, that, you know.
Yeah, maybe.
Unification fight coming up in the super middleweight division.
Darius, you require 150.
150 with the throw.
The intended route was 2 treble 19s and double 18. Durrant's actually got that option as well. 2 of those for double 16, but it looks like he's going upstairs instead.
Yeah, and does.
Darius, you require 116.
116.
He's picking off these kinds of finishes against Ratajski. The treble 19 will leave him tops. Not quite.
Oh, thought that was in. A little bit of shadow 39. There. It looks as though it was in momentarily.
When you
Who's got no Bob Seagar? Durrant needs a treble 18. He needs a single 18 now for Bull. Didn't mess with the treble. Bullseye it is for the first leg of this set.
61.
I know he could be back.
Labanauskas then looking to hold his throw here with 77. Well, 20 had put him on Bull. Oh, that's double 5. Just seen Glenn get this. Labanauskas misses. So 25. Anticipate 9 double 8.
Absolutely, the way his darts fly. He hits a 9. Even if this is outside the double 8, it will leave an open bed. Still open. There it is. He's steamrolling this now.
Second leg, Glenn to throw first.
Well, he looks like a different player, doesn't he?
He's talking to himself. He's obviously understood something from the first 4 sets, and he's changed something. He's talking to his forearm as if to say, come on, release it with a bit of pace.
Well, the mindset is altogether better in this. He's throwing with more authority. That's a bit unlucky.
.33.
Almost looks like a Kansas City Chiefs fan doing that tomahawk sign with his forearm. That's exactly what he's trying to mimic. Get it going forward with a bit of authority.
The flat cap brigade.
They're pretty fashionable right now, John.
I'm aware of this. I'm aware of this. I possess a flat cap.
You look like a cool flat cap kind of guy to me. I have to say though, best flat cap of the week has got to go to Ryan Joyce, the guy who played against Wolfie in that thriller at the weekend. He had a black and white one, which was very distinctive.
$140.
Well, they're here from the Lisa May Foundation, supporting local charities and doing a lot of good. Something that's very close to Bob Potter's heart, who's the man who owns this extraordinary complex here at Lakeside. I think Bob's daughter's one of those involved there.
Pope has
55.
Order of the British Empire, and you don't get one of those without doing great things for charities and for entertainment and sport. Bob Potter has been fantastic for Lakeside Darts over the years, and I'm sure for many years to come.
Well, you'd certainly hope that this continues to be the venue and something of a mecca for darts fans for this particular event.
97.
Because everybody who comes down here, they love the experience.
Could you imagine if they changed the venue? I think there'd be absolute uproar from the public. Well, there's uproar in the Durrant camp when Labanauskas is hitting those 180s.
That's his fourth. Durrant's had 3, but 136 can't be done now. So Labanauskas has got a real opportunity here to break
82.
the throw.
Darius should acquire 66.
This will be an insight of what he likes. Might be bullseye. It isn't. It was treble 14, but now this is double 16.
50.
It is not double 16, so Durrant, 54.
Acquire 54.
I think we know where he's going here.
I think we can be absolutely certain of that. Tops for 2-0.
Game shot in the second leg.
He'd only had 1 out of 5 on double top before then.
Game on.
You saw him blow out his cheeks. He's feeling the pressure, I think, more than the weight of what Labanauskas is doing to him. It's kind of a self-imposed sort of thing, but he's just about on top of it now, and he's moving towards another set.
I think he understands that dart, whereas it was in, it was probably not his best throw. It was right in the left field, but they all count. That's why the doubles are slightly bigger than the trebles.
$137.
It's like something recycled from a month or so ago, didn't it?
78.
You've got to think that the fans and players in Lithuania have got to be really proud of Darius Labanauskas and his achievements, not just here, but over the course of the last couple of years.
Darts,
He really has put darts on the map over there.
It's popular, isn't it? It's becoming popular over in the Baltic states.
Absolutely is.
Growing in Germany as well. Well, it's already immensely popular in the Low Countries.
100.
But it is a sport which is growing throughout the world.
You see Lothar Matthäus playing darts on German TV the other day?
I didn't know. Any good?
Yeah, he actually hit a 54 checkout, 2 darts.
Slightly depressing.
66.
It was very good.
Get these people who are pretty much good at anything. Sam Allardyce can play darts, you know.
Yeah, so can Alistair Cook.
Yeah?
Yeah, James Anderson from the England cricket team.
61. Darius should acquire 144.
First thing they pack when they go on tour, it's a dartboard.
Good dart. Treble 20 for double 12. Well, Cog's turning. What's he going to leave?
96.
That's not a bad idea.
128.
That gives him options. Well, the only option for Durrant is 18s. Only one way out, and that's 60 bull. Bullseye. Could be all over this set.
103.
So Labanauskas on 48.
48.
16 double 16. Durrant just has to wait. He gets the 8, so tops. Oh, good darts. Good darts. Keeps it alive and a little pump of the fist. But Glenn Durrant now with darts for 4 sets to 2. In this race to 5 in this quarter-final match to take a place in the semis against Jamie Hughes.
Well, Durrant will absolutely love a game against Jamie Hughes because he has had the water on him for a long time now. He seems to beat him in all the big games. But Labanauskas is going to bite at the heels of the Teessider until that whistle is blown.
91.
There's nothing to lose. You know, I know we've said it on more than one occasion, but he really is in a no-lose situation. Nobody's expecting him realistically to win. So everything he does He's just throwing with a clear mind.
77.
It's almost like he's a sparring partner, and he's expected to be the one knocked on the canvas. Well, he's still hitting Durrant with some really good jabs and hooks.
108.
And a pretty good combination as well. That is his 5th maximum. The 8th of the match in total.
Definitely not over this set.
No, it's not. He still believes, if nobody else does. Oh, look at this. 230 against the throw, this is. And Durrant's throw is under some pressure here.
100.
Look at the face of Durrant when he had that first 60. He looked up as if to say, just go away, leave me alone.
Well, this will hurt if Labanauskas can take this.
96. Darius, you require 130.
Durrant back on 154. Treble 20, his first port of call. He's got it. Another one for double 5. Bullseye now. He's checking. It's not in, so bullseye. Oh, great dart. Brilliant dart.
Darius Labanauskas.
And Glenn Durrant chews his lip contemplatively.
Game on.
And Labanauskas not only back onto level terms, but he's got the darts.
He's played some very good stuff the last couple of legs. Got some impetus.
60.
Handy way to do it.
That EOK symbol that he's used a few times now is the symbol for it's good to talk. That's very good. So he doubles with that symbol as well. Really, really good. So Durrant, a really good start this leg. It's what he needs, and I think he needs the breathing
69.
space. He's going to win this match. He doesn't want to be involved in another real battle.
A brace of mother superiors.
I think Durrant could use a blessing right now.
100.
Nice little 60 to finish that visit. He's got a great chance to take this set now. Labanauskas away behind.
81.
So Durrant will be moving on towards leaving a finish with this visit. At least that'll be at the back of his mind. How low can he get? Coming down the board. That's a good cover shot.
76.
Well, it's a loose one to finish with. A little bit of a shake of the head. Well, chuntering away, isn't he? As he goes back.
Chuntering's a great word for it. He was on a $5 bonus until this afternoon, when Darryl Fitner at 170, but that 180 could change the complexion of this leg.
Left him on a finish, and Durrant will have to watch and hope as Labanauskas will have a throw of 111 for the set. How's he going to go?
111.
Your guess is as good as mine, but it's looking like he might go 19s.
He's
54 to go. Arguably the biggest start of his life so far.
Now then, this is the test.
71. Glenn, you require 100.
Well, Glenn Durrant, 100. Treble 20. He's missed it. So going treble 16, double 16 now. And he's missed that as well.
84.
Didn't fancy tops
40.
by the looks of it. But it is tops for Labanauskas. It's now double 10. Not close.
30.
And neither was that one. So Durrant has been given a lifeline.
16.
See if he can put it away now. Remember, this one is for the set. Double 8. Double 4. Oohs and ahs around the crowd. They realise it's a critical moment. And there it is again. Exhales a sigh of relief and then walks off the stage knowing that he's got a key dart there. and leads Darius Labanauskas, the Lithuanian, 4-2, and only needs one more set. It's heavy going, but he's winning.
Well, he's 4-2 in front now, Glen Durrant. It's still a bit scratchy, isn't it? A bit patchy, but just about getting it done against Darius Labanauskas, though he's had his chances. Earlier, if you weren't with us, we have our two ladies finalists. Corinne Hammond came through 2-0, surprisingly, against a below par Anastasia Dobromyslova, and Corinne plays Lisa Ashton in tomorrow's final. Scott Waits and Danny Noppert will be with us at the end of Glen Durrant and Darius Labanauskas here tonight. But probably worth a quick look, Chris, at the opportunities he didn't take for 3-all, Labanauskas.
Yeah, which he was taking earlier on in the match, but that was a much improved fifth set from Durrant.
Yeah.
He really came out of that break. I don't know whether one of his pals had a little word with him, but he seemed a lot more aggressive, and you know, he was a lot more hyped for the match and pumped up, and that seems to have worked for him. And maybe he should have that, you know, have that approach.
Yeah.
And play with just a lot more aggression and attack that 60.
See, I get the impression he's trying to kind of not lose control, but equally, you can't go to sleep, can you? It's that balance.
No, and he's that kind of player that likes to play, you know, he likes to fist pump and, you know, get that motivation, get that adrenaline going through your veins, and he's not had that at all so far this week, and that's maybe what he needs. He just needs a,
kick up the...
Yeah, one of those.
Okay, back to Paul and John.
Well, he certainly walked out with a bit more of a swagger there. Strode very purposefully onto the stage because he now knows that he only needs one more set and he'll be through into the final where Jamie Hughes awaits.
Seventh set, first leg, Glen to throw first.
So
Game
can
on.
he tuck it away? Crowd would love to see him really turn it on in this last set, if it is to be the last set.
Did you notice Johnny did the old Durrant shuffle just after that final double went in the sixth set? He doesn't do that very often anymore, but Chris is right. He's got to get aggressive. When he played at the Grand Slam, when he's played at tournaments recently, he's had a bit of stuff about him.
81.
And it just seems a bit edgy for me. He needs to get up there and just be a bit ruthless and not care who he's playing.
A solid ton. Oh, Dick and Kath there. Due to have a beer with them later on. Well, due to watch them having a beer, because of course I've given up.
100.
Another little look again at that Glen Durrant shuffle, which will be a nice little cue up for a little story I've got about this shuffle. Anyway, let's have a look at
137.
Love it, love it, love it. Muhammad Ali, there was a face mask earlier on. We've been looking for it, but we can't find it, so I'll tell you the story anyway.
100.
In 1977, apparently the greatest came over here, and he challenged Alan Evans, who was then absolutely white hot as a darts player. He challenged him to a match, and they played an exhibition together.
58.
The rule was, though, that Evans could only score on trebles, and Ali apparently went and beat him and declared himself champion of the world. Alan Evans, who was a fairly pugnacious sort of character, I don't know this for a fact, but I wouldn't be at all surprised if he offered him a scrap.
That wouldn't be out of character for Alan Evans. I think the amount of people he offered outside was quite a few.
98.
Friend of Tony O'Shea's back in the day.
120.
Labanauskas on 120, and he can't do it now. That is Alan Evans I'm talking about, rather than Muhammad Ali.
80. Glen, you require 48.
48 then, with the throw. Double 16. Shuffles slightly to his right. Labanauskas couldn't bring himself to watch.
Second leg,
but the double went nicely in.
Game on.
Yeah, it's a lovely shot. Intelligent shot. Slightly blocked, moved to the right, put it in. More confident stuff from Durrant.
94.
It was just an absolute sea change in the way in which he was playing after the fourth set.
140.
Solid ton 40. And once you took a seat in this commentary box, he looked as though he was playing with a great deal more belief.
Well, John, I'm not going to take any credit for that.
Well, no, I wouldn't do that because you'd be ridiculed.
60.
Yeah, absolutely.
And perish the thought that that should happen.
Wouldn't be the first time. But fortunate for Glenn that it's gone that way, and he's looking a lot more confident now. But I was going to say, John, it seems like every player's got a hoop these days. You got the Glenn Durrant shuffle. You got the Darryl Fitton. Well, it's like a belly high five, isn't it?
Yeah, what do you mean when he slaps stomachs with Richard Ashdown?
That's right.
59.
Used to be Tony O'Shea back in the day.
Only needs 2 more legs potentially, Durrant, and he'll be through.
If he gets them, I tell you what, I'll be fascinated to see what he says in his interview as to how he was feeling on the stage for this. Of course, it isn't over yet, but it just looks a bit more academic now than it did a couple of sets ago.
There's a bit more enjoyment than there was early doors. You get the impression that even though he's such a good darts player, and we're talking about somebody who is a very good darts player when he's at the top of his game, but there didn't look an awful lot of enjoyment in it in the early stages of this match, did there?
Yeah, first and foremost, you've got to enjoy your darts, no matter what the pressure and what the stage. But it just seems like the occasion and the expectation, it was just too much for a little bit, and
96.
Now he's got away with a set. Maybe it's just time to roll with it and get rid of this game.
Well, it's the W that counts, isn't it? It's the win. Well, he wanted the 16 there, and he's got himself an 8. He missed the big 16, and then you see the slap on the head of frustration. Instead of the 18, he's got himself a treble 18.
That issue require 108.
He's just doing things that he wouldn't usually do. Well, Labanauskas would usually hit this, and he might just do it if he hits a single 19 and a double 16.
That's a very nice checkout. Thank you very much. 108.
Third leg, Glenn to throw first.
He's a little bit friendless in the arena, but those who are supporting him, very happy with that. Back on level terms in this set, which he has to win. This is the good stuff from Durrant. His 4th maximum.
Not bad, not bad. Exactly what he needed in this leg, just to say to Labanauskas after that 108, I'm not going to give this to you, pal. You better keep hitting those because I'm going to try and get in front of you.
Labanauskas' Lithuanian mate gave it the big shout when he won the leg.
137.
And then when Glenn went and threw a ton 80, he got about half a dozen around him, absolutely bellowing in his ear.
Yeah, if you're going to be a darts fan at Lakeside, you better put some earplugs in sometimes because it gets rather loud in here.
$10.84. Couple of treble 20s.
136.
Oh, that's a good visit.
I was going to say, he doesn't want to leave double 2 again. It's this time 48. Simple, 16 and double. Move on to a leg where he can win the match.
Well, you would think that this should be a formality for Durrant. No pressure on it. There's the 16. Now for the double. Good marker.
32.
Well, at one point in this leg, Durrant was on 48 and Labanauskas was on 400 and change. You don't see that very often.
Well, even if he got 180 here, it wouldn't make a huge amount of difference, would it?
140.
Still
Glen
not on a
requires
finish.
16.
Double 8, Durrant.
Game
There it
shot in the
is.
third leg.
2-1 up,
Durrant.
and he's within a leg now of a place in the semi-finals.
Fourth leg, Darius to throw first. Game on.
A funny sort of way, John. Do you think that it looks like he's going to get through this game? Don't want to tempt fate, of course, but he's got to play again tomorrow if he does. Will that be good for him?
125.
Probably, yeah, because he won't be having to go away and thinking about it, and he can draw a lot of positives about the latter stages of this match when he started to look more like himself, and he does, as you've said before, have a good record against Jamie Hughes, so he'll fancy it, and he's scoring well now.
We had a big
Would you agree?
gap. Yeah, I agree. I think that big gap between Saturday last week and his next match, I'm not sure it helped him.
Well, you know, it's part of it, isn't it? It's the luck of the draw. Straightforward
134.
draw. Nobody being protected. It's done on rankings. And you have to take what's thrown at you. And he's had his sticky moments, but ultimately here he looks as though he's coming through
85
with a nice margin. 5-2 sounds an awful lot better than 5-4.
Does indeed. And the encouraging thing for Durrant as well is that at the back end of matches, he seems to be playing better. Against Hogan, he did it.
59.
Against Labanauskas, yeah, he's doing it. So that is a very good positive to take.
Well, he'd be a bit frustrated he didn't put himself on a finish there. A great opportunity to close Labanauskas out right here and now, but not so.
100.
He'll come back with a 136 to try and keep it alive. Durrant, though, now just trying to squeeze some pressure.
My kingdom for a 134.
134.
Well, he's just sold his kingdom because he got a 134, and now he's got to rely on Labanauskas not hitting this 136. So Durrant's coming back for the match, John. It could be all over in the next 10 to 12 seconds.
We will see.
83.
It was a struggle early doors, but now
40.
Glen Durrant tops for the match. And it only takes one dart, job done, and he comes through. The most important statistic is that he's got the win. Darius Labanauskas had his moments, but Glen Durrant, in the end, class told. Form temporary, class permanent. He is a class player. He's into the last four, and he's still got his eyes on his dream of winning this Lakeside title. He looked so nervous at times.
The first Lithuanian to reach the Lakeside quarterfinals, Darius Labanauskas.
Labanauskas played his part, but eventually it is Glen Durrant who moves through into his semi-final in pursuit of the big one, which has so far eluded him. The #1 seed wins by 5 sets to 2.
Well, it's a good win. 5-2 will do. Still get that sense of frustration and lack of certainty maybe about what Glen Durrant's doing. He's through though to a semi. We'll talk to him shortly. For the BDO's #1 player, Glen Durrant safely through after defeating Darius Labanauskas by 5 sets to 2. Not the dream darts, perhaps, that many were looking for. Maybe Glen won't care. Job done, and as long as you're through, in the end, that's all that matters. No pictures on the scorecard and all that. Darius played his part, but Glen safely through to a semi tomorrow, and he's good enough to join myself and Chris on the balcony. Happy, relieved? What are the emotions?
I should be happy. I'm in the semi-final. I'm not happy at all. I'm just not playing my darts. I'm so tight in the shoulders. I'm through the semi-final.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and be happy in this interview, but deep down, I wanted to make another statement. I'm just not playing very well, and I can't work out why.
Well, we're all scratching our heads thinking, is it gap between round 1 and round 2? Is it the expectation? Is it the entourage that wasn't here today? Can you put your finger on it?
No, and that's a really difficult scenario to it. My preparation was really good again today. I felt good on the stage, but I think I'm just putting too much pressure on myself, and it's. I should be happy. Come on, Glenn.
You should. You should, because a win's a win, isn't it? In the end, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm in the semi-final.
Yeah.
I'm still hoping. I've got a really big game in me. I'm playing my B game at the moment, and come on, Glenn, be happy.
Pick the positives, Chris. There must be some.
Well,
He's won 5-2.
For one, there's no averages written on that trophy.
Yeah.
There's just a date and a name. You know, that's all that matters. You know, and as again, it don't matter how you start a match, it's how you end it. And the ending of that, the last 3 sets, he was averaging 97, 98. And for me, he's just trying too hard. He's trying too hard to perform, and and that, you know, it's the thing you just get involved in. You just can't get it out of your head. You keep force. I noticed your darts were just sitting up, as did Paul Nicholson, and that's usually a sign you're just slightly over pitching, and that is another sign that you're trying too hard. And just got to relax. And there was more pressure on him in that game than anywhere else. Everybody again was expecting to win, but you know, in the following matches, then we might just get to see the real Glen Durrant, who at his best is a fabulous performer. That's why he's #1 in the world.
You are finishing matches better than you're starting them, so I suppose that's some crumb of comfort.
I think I play with aggression when I'm really like playing at my best, and my darts are going really low at the moment, and maybe the last couple of sets I felt a little bit more angry. Yeah, I think I'm trying to. I think Chris's assessment is absolutely spot on.
There's no technical issue, because the darts are going in quite steep, aren't they? Quite vertical into the board. Is that normal for you?
No, I normally just go above the treble 20, like I'm a real 140 man. The angles they're going in, I've got some issues, and well, I'm in the semi-final. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got to take the real positives, otherwise I'll go to that semi-final really down. But I've got some answers to find.
Yeah, well, from your point of view, Jamie Hughes in the semis tomorrow, good pal of yours. I'm sure you've played each other almost countless times.
Yeah, I beat him in the World Masters, beat him in 500s, but at that time I was comfortable on the stage. He looked really, really good today. Just a special mention to Martin Adams, who was, I thought he was spectacular today, and there was part of me when I was laid in my hotel room thinking that semi-final that we had before, that could be repeated, but to play Jamie Hughes is going to be fantastic tomorrow.
Yeah. What you need tomorrow is a win double. Durrant on the hockey at Lakeside and Middlesbrough against Watford. That's what you need.
Yeah, like just a special mention of Graham Taylor tomorrow, so I can imagine that the atmosphere will be very, very emotional. So, but I still hope that Borough go and get 3 points, and that could be the inspiration that I need.
Well, listen, well done for the win, and we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.
Thanks,
Breathe
man.
a sigh of relief and work on your issues.
Some issues. I've got to sort them out. Thank you.
While we're on the football vibe, by the way, of course, a Premier League game live on BT Sport tomorrow. It is Chelsea. It seems minus Diego Costa at the champions Leicester. No doubt more to come on that story, but in any case, it is the live game from 5 tomorrow with Jake and guests.